All right, so here we are with our Skyline GTR. Yes, I did say GTR. This is a four-door GTR made by Nissan or Autech, obviously a subsidiary of Nissan. And a lot of people don't know or think that a four-door GTR exists. People see this car and think, oh, it's a fake, it's a duplicate. People think it's like an Ultima or a Maxima. And if you look at the interior, I can see why you would think that. This is a legit GTR badging right here. And today's video is talking about what makes an Autech an Autech, okay guys? But we'll start off with the front here and we'll talk about what makes an Autech an Autech. Now the first thing obviously is the wide body here. That's the most obvious thing. This has GTR fenders, a GTR hood, which is actually lighter than the traditional Skyline hood. You have the GTR bumper, GTR front lip, obviously the GTR headlights, which are super expensive. We're talking about close to $10,000 for it. The grills to match, obviously. And here is the GTR badging here. So in essence, the front clip of the car is a full GTR. That's just what it boils down to. Everything down to the badging and the lights, it gets the full GTR treatment. Now on the side here, no difference here. This is obviously a sedan, so it's gonna have sedan parts on here. So the four doors, the actual windshield here is actually sedan windshield. Besides that, on the outside, it's hard to tell. Now, these skirts here are specific to the Autech. This has a body kit on it from the factory from Autech. Those are hard to get. So that's for a sedan. You can see that bulge right there. And this is actually integrated into the door. Everything is kind of unique and seamless into the car. So there's subtle details on this car that's really hard to duplicate if this car isn't real. Now that leads me to probably the most important point here, what makes an Autech, and that is the wider fenders in the rear. Now it's easy to just bolt up some coupe fenders to a sedan, make it wider, and that's easy. The more difficult part is actually the rear end. You can't really bolt it up. It's actually integrated into the entire body, but it's also a wide fender here as well. You can see how wide this is. Typically your sedan would stop right here, and as you can see, it goes out even further. So that means a redesign of this whole fender, the gas tank, which is really hard to duplicate on a fake GTR. And probably the most important and hardest one is also the door. As you can see, this fender is so wide, guys, that the door had to be redesigned and widened to actually match the rear fender. As you can see, that line just goes straight from the fender into the door. It's really cool to see, guys. Really hard to get on camera, but you can see how wide that door and fender is. And if I open this door, you can see it right here. It's kind of weird how they just make it outward here. So it's actually integrated into the door. You can see how wide that is. Same here as well. So they do make a lot of body kits for these cars to make them wider. You guys will just rivet them on or use some Bondo to kind of make it seamless. But the hard part is when a non-wide body car, the gas tank is kind of sunk in. This is kind of flush with the wide body, so it is OEM. Now, seeing with the body kits here, this rear spat is specific to the Autech version of the GTR sedans. Kind of hard to get. As far as the back here, this is all regular sedan stuff. If you have a Series 3 sedan, you're gonna have the updated taillights. These are like three-dimensional, 3D. You're gonna have the same Skyline here. You're gonna have the same lights, Nissan. What you're not gonna have is the 40th anniversary. Obviously, this is a special car. Obviously, the GTR badging, which anyone can buy, but this one here is specific to the sedan. Obviously, you know, the coupe has also a GTR badging. This one here is a little bit different dimensions and size. It's a little bit smaller compared to the coupe one. And then obviously the Autech version right here, the company that made this actual car a reality. It's similar to a standard sedan, but it's also different. On the other side, it's more of the same here. No different, wide body. I mean, it's crazy how wide it is. And it's more of the same on this side. It's pretty much a GTR front half. From the actual front door to maybe right here is just, this area right here is just regular sedan. and everything here is specific to GTR. It's kind of crazy. So for someone to actually convert the exterior of this car, yeah, it's a lot of labor, a lot of time, and a lot of money. So that's the first thing. But if you want to double your value in the car, you might want to make a fake one. But all right, let's move on into the interior, which is arguably as hard as well to get some stuff for it. Now this is obviously a sedan, so there's gonna be some sedan parts in here, but some stuff that makes it unique to what Autech is just the Autech or the interior of a GTR. This is a coupe material here, so this kind of mesh material with the blue color in here. You can see the same thing here as well. GTR seats with the blue here. GTR, should be a GTR shifter, boot, GTR steering wheel. You can see the actual cluster is a GTR cluster. Mine does have the GTR floor mats. I want to see, I've seen, I don't know, a mix of guys with the Skyline mats, and I've seen some with the GTR mats. And I don't know if there's a specific between the coupe and the sedan, but I was happy that this was in my car as well. Besides that, you're gonna have the triple gauge as well with every GTR. The sedan doesn't have this. So you have your torque, your oil temperature, and then your boost pressure here as well. That's all GTR dash here, same materials. It's really nice. It's pretty straightforward. In this position here, this thing feels like a coupe, no difference. It doesn't feel like a sedan in here. Obviously, you're gonna have all these 4-door controls for the windows and the locks. One of the unique things about the Autech, which is really hard to get, duplicate, they made only 416 of these cars. Obviously the fender, but the back seats, these are unique and specific to the Autech. And the whole point here was to have a sporty sedan, a sporty 4-door car. And that's what they did. Instead of having a bench seat back here, they made it more like a bucket seat. As you can see, we have this super, I mean, this is unique, super aggressive bolstering right here on this car, making it feel like a bucket seat more than a bench seat. This thing really hugs you, and the bolstering is aggressive all around on this car, guys. It's really impressive. And to source one of these, it's almost near impossible. So these are little things to find out on this car. And here is your GTR mat as well. The sun is making it really bright, but you have the same thing here as well. Now the Skyline R33 is already known as a big car, so it's very comfortable, even in the coupe version. And you have more space back here as well. So it really does make sense. I can sit behind myself pretty easily in this car. Now the trunk here, there's nothing unique about the trunk specifically. It's like a sedan. Same with the back seats here, no different. This is my first time seeing this. This is a little pedal here to actually scoot this whole seat up. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize I had it. And then obviously the big thing here is the engine, right? Who cares about all this body parts, interior bits, if it doesn't drive and sound like a GTR? And that's where a lot of your money is gonna go, is this motor here, the drivetrain, the powertrain. Let's just open up the hood and see what's inside here. Obviously, if it's supposed to be a GTR, it should have the RB26. Now, believe it or not, RB26s are not hard to get. They're just expensive. And there you go, RB26. All right, let's put the hood prop up. All right, so here is the legendary RB26 inline-6 twin turbocharged engine, individual throttle bodies, intercooled. It's a pretty famous power plant, obviously. The R32 started off with it, then 33, which is this car, and then the 34 made it just solidified this whole legendary motor here. But pretty cool. This one here is relatively stock. I say relatively stock, but there's a lot of things going on here that most people don't understand, and that's a lot of the chassis work. This chassis in this car, yes, it is a 4-door car, but the chassis is literally like a coupe. Even the tower braces here are specific to GTRs. It actually shares the same strut tower as the 34. So a lot of the parts in the 34 fits a 33 GTR. Obviously the mounts, everything is different here. Some of the framework here is different as well. We talked about the hood being lighter. This is an aluminum hood compared to just the steel one. This is it right here. This is what makes a GTR, guys. It's crazy. Now, obviously, to make it really official, like official, no matter what anyone tells you, if you're gonna buy one of these, make sure it has the R33 GTR VIN on it. It should say BCNR33. Now mine says it, so I'm cool with that. And a lot of guys can alter that plate. That plate is really important, but it should also be etched into the chassis as well. Hopefully you can see that. It says BCNR33, so that's a genuine GTR car here. Now underneath, it's the same thing. We have all-wheel drive. At Tesla, we also have the high-cast four-wheel steering, so the rear wheel steer as well. So all the features and capabilities of a R33 GTR coupe exist in this car as well. But you can see all the rear wheel steering here. The high-cast in this car here is not deleted. Very light modifications, which is true to the car, which is, you get the real feeling, essence of this GTR here. But yeah, what more can I go into? I mean, that's it. I mean, you have the drivetrain, the powertrain, you have the fenders, the exterior, you have the interior bits. There's a lot that goes into this car, and these cars are, as I said before, they're rare, so they're actually, well, all GTRs are appreciating in value, they're going up in value, but because these were so hard to get and all the extra effort that went into them, there's only 416 made in the world. So when you do price these cars compared to a coupe, these are a little bit more expensive, honestly, all right? Now, you consider that there was only 416 made in the world ever, and then on top of that, some were used as police cars in Japan, so let's say 4 or 2 were used as police cars. That leaves you around 412 in the world, and that was over 26 years ago. So the chance of finding one of these, it's near impossible, guys. Now the backstory here, obviously we know it's the 40th anniversary. This was to commemorate the 40th year of the Skyline. And this was this is the second GTR to be made as a 4-door. Now believe it or not, the first generation GTR first came as a 4-door GTR. In fact, the first GTR was a 4-door. And then they made the coupe version, the Hakuska. And everyone knows the 2-door version of it. And they've never made another GTR that was 4-door until this car, and this was the last one. So there's only 2 cars that can be said as a 4-door GTR, and this one is the only one that came with the RB26. So it's a very, very special car, guys. Back here, well, we'll leave it for another video. We'll make another video talking about what makes this one so unique. We just showed you what makes a GTR a GTR, and how to identify one, but just some of the quirks, some of the quirks of this Autech GTR, we'll talk about in another video, because there are some quirks on here, obviously, you can see. But that's the decision Nissan and Autech made, and yeah, we'll see. It is so crazy to have this, especially as a 4-door car. People think it's a Maxima, one Altima, and if you look at the interior, guys, you can see why people think it's a Maxima, Altima. Look at the steering wheel. It looks so old school, like a 90s car. And believe it or not, the Series 1 GTR, the coupe, they had the bigger airbag, making it really look like a Maxima. So, all right, guys, if you have any questions about this car, leave it in the comment section down below. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.